And what we're going to talk about this evening, something came to me while I was preparing for this Saturday's abundance ritual, about paper bags. And I don't know about you, but all in my spell work, I love to use paper bags, you know. And what you don't realize is a lot of the things that you like to do is passed on from your past loved ones, from those that have come before you, from elders. A lot of the things, they're literally living through you. You are now, I tell you guys in other videos, you are the head of the family now, in so many terms, you know, in so many ways when it comes to spirituality. There are those in your family that do not share your same beliefs, and they don't really allow your past loved ones to actually live through them, because they live their way and they live their life in a different way. So while I was sitting up here finna write the names down of my clients and other people that submitted their names for my ritual, Spirit shot through me and we started communing about the paper bag. And as we was communing, I started writing down some of the things that was coming through to me. Because one of the main questions that I had was, why did certain, people use paper bags? Why did they want to use paper bags? And we know that most of the time, or what we have learned around this space, is that, slavery, during slavery time, certain traditions, like Hoodoo traditions and things like that, came out of a certain era. And one of the things that they like to use is the paper bag. And I just was communing with Spirit, and some of the things that they told me, I actually wrote down. So I had to pause on doing, the ritual, and kind of like infuse some of this information into the ritual, because it's a money ritual as well. You can learn a lot of things when you kind of tap into Spirit and you actually listen to them. So some of the things that they told me was bags was plentiful. A lot of them was free. They didn't have to pay for bags. It wasn't a lot of money for some of our ancestors. I know for mine, a lot of the ancestors that came in my bloodline was from the slave era, was part of slavery and things like that, and I tend to honor them today, because I call them the front lines. Without them being in that situation, or in those situations, or being strong enough to survive those situations, I wouldn't be here speaking to you now, because it's easy to give up, and they didn't. And just for that simple fact, I think that I'll honor them forever, So they said that it was plentiful. It was free. It was easy to get, easy to obtain when money was tight, and they, they got scraps and stuff. The other thing was a bag. That's what I'm trying to say. A bag didn't look strange when you write on it, when you conceal your rituals or your spells and stuff within the bag. It didn't look like, what do you have on there? What are you doing with that bag? You can conceal food in it. You can make it seem like, let me show you an example. I'm just going to tear a piece off like this. And this piece right here is big enough to write your manifestation or your wish on. And if somebody was coming, it's easily concealed. No one knows that you have it under your hand, And sometimes some of them wasn't even supposed to know how to write, how to read, how to do any of this stuff. But it kind of blends. It blends in, It was easily blendable. And that's what Spirit kind of flowed through me as well. How easy it was to conceal it. Okay. And if they needed to get rid of it. Okay, and we already know, I don't know if you guys know, they invented their own language, that's where slang came from, just them inventing their own way to do things, their own way of communication, all that type of thing. Another thing that came through to me is, why did they prefer to tear off the edges? They tore off the edges. One of the reasons, now this is something they told me, I have never found this online or whatever. They tore the edges off because they didn't want things to come in a straight way. They wanted things to come in abundant way, many ways. They wanted money or any type of wish or any type of manifestation in all multiple ways, you know, because like I said, it was a time when things was hard. It was hard for them to really come by some of the things that they required or some of the things that they need. Nothing was easy for them. So when they requested something, they tore off the edges as using as symbology to, you can get it anywhere. That was the reason why the edges are off, because you want it plentiful. You want it in many ways, not just a stagnant way. You don't want it in an ordinary way, you know? So you tear off those edges. And that's something that Spirit kind of like shot through me. And from time to time, they do lay their little jewels on me, and it's more than just little, because they tell me some wild things, you know, about the cosmos, about why we're here, about this and about that. And again, I think that that's why a lot of my clients see certain results, because I'm always in spirit. You know, I'm comfortable in spirit, you know. Sometimes it's hard to be around other humans, and it's easier to be around spirit, you know, because most of the time we're doing all the talking, and half of the time they say very few words, and they listen to us, you know, and they always drop these jewels or these wisdoms or this wisdom on us if we know how to decipher the messages. And you wouldn't even believe how simple it is to actually decipher some of the messages, but not all the time. When it comes to me, I don't always want to hear all the stuff that they want to say. I have to admit that, because sometimes they could be it seems like they're a little bit hard, but everything comes out of love, because everything that I have been taught by them, I was able to use. You know, I was able to use. They have a heavy hand, but a big old heart, you know. At least that's how mine are, you know. My loved ones, my past loved ones, the elders, you know, all them. It ain't easy in this field. It ain't easy to be spiritual. But if you are here, then man, give yourself a pat on the back, because you're doing better than what you think.